his warmth, his wisdom, his guidance, and most of all, his friendship have been some of the most important things in my life. And we love you, Jamey, and much success for the coming decades. Thank you.
So Jamey, you're telling me I spent all night learning my jazz lingo, and I should have been learning rap lingo. Word, my homie. Now when I see Jamey, I'll think rap artist. Endorsed by musicians both living and dead. It's very impressive, Jamey. Not many guys can say that. You already heard this fellow once, and I would consider it speaking because, as I said, I believe music is a language all its own, a beautiful language. Pat Harbison, born and raised, fellow Hoosier in New Albany, played the trumpet, fourth grade at Pine View Elementary. Started early on the trumpet, continued his education through Scribner Junior High and New Albany High School. Early on, Jamey was a big influence on Pat, and as a result, Pat became intent on a career in jazz, a career which you have heard certainly has paid off. He continued to work with Mr. Aebersold as both a student and colleague throughout his years at U of L, where he obtained a bachelor's. He later studied jazz with David Baker and completed his master's degree in jazz at Indiana University. Yeah, ma'am, go ahead. IU, yes. By the way, are there any Boilermakers in the house up here?
Yes, there are.
You better leave while you can. It's an IU house, sweetheart. Well, Pat is known for his 30-year association with Jamey's summer jazz workshops. He's in his 23rd year as a college professor, teaching 13 years at the University of Cincinnati, joined the jazz faculty at IU Bloomington in '97. He's an active jazz trumpet performer, maintaining a full schedule of performances and appearances, really internationally, around the world. He's released 3 CDs under his own name, appeared on numerous other CDs. He's written numerous articles on jazz, and his books are used by trumpeters around the world. Please put your hands together for Pat Harbison.
I did write out my speech, but at some points I'll probably be improvising. At that point, the green light will come on. That's very inside. Only some of you will get that, not many of you. Jonathan got it, though. I had to do that for him. To me, Jamey Aebersold is a perfect example of the axiom that if you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. You're starting to figure out how many people can beat a path to that door on Aebersold Drive. I think anyone who knew Jamey as a young man could tell he was going to be talented and energetic, but I don't think anybody could foresee the way this entire method of teaching and learning jazz would develop and would make him an international figure. I'm sure he didn't think about it that way. His play-along recordings have brought him international fame, and thanks to Jamey, hundreds of thousands of people all around the world know exactly what it sounds like when a guy from southern Indiana counts to 4. And a few of them even know what it sounds like when he counts to 4 in Spanish. You need to hear that one. Jamey's traveled all around the world helping people learn how to improvise, and this has given him the opportunity to search the world over for fried chicken and mashed potatoes as good as the South Side. I first met Jamey in 1967 when I had a little combo that I put together at Scribner Junior High to play on a talent show. We were going to play a couple of Tijuana brass tunes. That dates me very much. And one of the guys in the band was a saxophone student at Jamey's, and he said, I asked him if we could come play the songs for him and see if he could give us some comments. So we went over there, and that's the first time I walked through the doors of that legendary basement, you know? And that's right, it's a very humble thing, and nobody can believe, wait a minute, he's kind of taken this house, and they've added on a little here and there, he's taken this basement, they keep moving the ping pong table around after they fill orders on the ping pong table, and, you know, everything sort of evolves, but it's still really a family business. It's still very much, you know, it reminds me of the old Mickey Rooney movie where they get together and say, hey kids, let's put on a show. You know, Jamey had this idea that he wanted to help people play jazz and improvise and find their creative voice, and so he started doing this thing. When I first went to his house in '67, he had that one play-along record out, and I've seen the entire thing explode to the point where he has over 100 volumes of these play-along recordings, and the catalog is starting to look like a Louisville phone book. It's really thick and full of quality products, and it has had an impact on musicians and people who love music all over the world. After that first encounter with Jamey, it led me to come to his house every Saturday morning. Virtually, I went over to Jamey's house for all through junior high and high school, and even some of my college years. And we played. He had a little combo that he put together of. He had at first when I went there, he had two combos: one of high school and junior high kids, and another one of older kids, like college-age kids. And I realize now in retrospect, we were sort of like the lab animals, you know. It tested on human subjects. Everything that's in those books was tried out on me, and if it didn't work, I was the only one who really was any the worse off, and actually pretty much everything worked because the guy always had a heart for teaching and these insights and the ability to take very complex musical ideas and make them very simple so that anybody could figure them out. And that was the beginning to me of this passion I had. Every Saturday I'd leave Jamey's house with a stack of 6 LPs. I remember that's how many he'd let me take. And I would take 6 LPs home, and every week it was 6 different LPs. And I'd go home, and poor mom, she had to listen to all this stuff, you know. She's probably trying to figure out, what's this kid doing? He's locking himself in the bedroom and listening to Pharoah Sanders and Ornette Coleman. What is this, you know? But I would lock myself in the bedroom, and I'd put those LPs on, you know, in a stack so that they'd come through the changer. I'm saying this for those of you who are younger than me who have no idea what this is. I remember, this is a footnote, my kids, they were amazed when I pulled out some of my records that you could turn them over and there was more music on the other side. This, my friends, is a generation gap. But I took those 6 LPs home every week, different people all the time, and I sort of fell in love a little at a time. I knew about Freddie Hubbard, so I saw he was on an Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers record, so I took one. It was great. So I went back, and the next week I got another Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers record, and this one had Lee Morgan on it, and it was great. And then I found another record by somebody else that had Lee Morgan on it, and the ripple effect just sort of led me from there into discovering and developing this passion that has consumed my entire life. It's your fault. I continued to learn from Jamey, and I think so many of us here tonight have sort of evolved from being student teacher into being sort of mentor, more experienced professional to young professional, into being just friends and colleagues. And over the last, well, I had to do the math, almost 40 years. That's amazing. I must have been 6 and he was 10. That's really ridiculous. I've gone all over the world at Jamey's side and walked through numerous doors that he held open for me. Sorry. And way before I was ready, he invited me to join the faculty of his summer jazz workshops. And I walked through that door, and it was the beginning of a career. Sorry about this. This is very important. Outside of my folks, my wife, that's the most important guy in my life. Jamey taught me a lot in music lessons, but he also taught me a lot about life by what he demonstrated with his example. He has a commitment and a contagious passion for jazz and improvisation. He loves improvising because it's an outlet for expression and for creativity, and it's available to anyone, and he's helped make it that way. The process of learning to improvise serves as a path to self-improvement, personal growth, and that transcends music. Jamey has shown so many people that improvising is really a way of life. In life, as in music, you equip yourself with the best skills you possibly can, and then you express yourself and invent your own path. Jamey has demonstrated his feelings about other people. He's really a humanitarian. in the true sense of the word. And it's not self-conscious, it's not so he'll get accolades. This is probably in a certain way very weird for Jamey to have these kinds of events, but